All right. Hi, my name is Michelle. I am an anti-MLM advocate, activist, content creator, and commentator. I am a legitimate small business owner. I will link my Etsy store in the description if you're interested. I full-time am a business liaison for the IT or retail technology department of a major greeting cards company that you probably all know and love. I have a 2-year-old son, a wonderful husband. I'm queer as hell, and I am witchy. I'm witchy. I do have very pagan spirituality and belief system, pretty new agey, although I am also a skeptic. So the only reason I bring that up is because this video is going to be about that. It was recently brought to my attention that about, I think it was like a week ago, maybe a little bit before then, but this is kind of when all of this came out to the public. Young Living's, I think CEO, Mary Young, the wife of the late Dr. Gary Young, who is all kinds of problematic in his own right, but that's not what my video is going to be about. If you want more deets on that, I encourage you to check out Savannah Marie on YouTube, as well as I Don't Want No Huns, which is a very good friend of mine who is releasing a Young Living expose or commentary video probably on the same day that I am, because everyone's talking about Young Living. So let's get to the point. Get to the point, Michelle. All right. Okay. I'm getting to the point. Listen, I only have like 35 minutes to record what I want to be a hour-long video. So we'll see how this goes, and my toddler may have to join us later. So, disclaimer real quick. Well, I have several disclaimers, but first of all, yes, I am drinking out of a Beachbody Shakeology shaker cup. That is because I spent 14 months as a Beachbody coach, and I have like 25 of these. They're great cups. They're way overpriced if you buy them from Beachbody, which I did. And they have these horrible Beachbody logos on them. Some of them I have created my own decals to cover those up. This is not one of those. So I just want to get that out of the way. I do not support any MLM products, but the ones that I already own, I'm going to use. Disclaimer number 2. I am in this to expose absolutely nothing I have to say in this video is meant to be taken as medical advice. And nothing I have to say in this video is meant to defame anybody, bully anybody, or target anybody specifically. Within MLM companies and the MLM business model itself. And I don't want to bring any harm to any individual. So if you're seeing this and anything you see enrages you or makes you want to go find someone on social media or anything like that, just don't. Just don't. Please. Just don't. All right. Number 2. All of the video clips that I am going to be sharing today are from videos that have been posted publicly on YouTube. I'm not going to blur any faces today because everybody that I'm going to be talking about is a public figure and presents themselves as such. I will be showing a Zoom call that does have the faces of a whole lot of other people, but all of that is on the YouTube video. And I am not going to go in and blur out every single one unless I have to. which I hope I don't. So anyway, I want to talk about this book that was sent out by Mary Young to all of, I believe, all of the Diamond leaders, which is the second rank from the top within the Young Living ranks structure, from my understanding. I have not personally done any deep dive or anything like that into Young Living. All of my information about it comes from watching Savannah Marie's videos and some stories from a diamond rank, a former diamond rank ex-Hun from Young Living, and also my good friend Kayla at Safe Space _ Real Talk, I believe, on Instagram, who is also an ex Young Living Hun. So those are my sources. I didn't do a whole lot of research on the company itself because that's not what I'm here to talk about. So I am going to jump right into this Zoom call. The author of the book that I've been referencing led this webinar 2 weeks ago, or this training 2 weeks ago, but right around the time that the CEO of Young Living sent out his book, which is called My Words Made Flesh, as, I guess, training material for leadership. Now, I was very curious about all of the content in this book. However, it's $79 to purchase, even a digital copy, and I'm not doing that. So instead, we are going to watch parts of this Zoom call where he does a little bit of training on the materials in his book. So let's hear from Robert. What's his name? Hopefully I can figure out how to edit this part out. Otherwise, I'm really sorry. Robert Tennyson Stevens and Marcella von Harting, PhD. My Word Made Flesh. Awakening your health and wealth through the words you speak. Sounds like NLP to me, but I'm not an expert. Oh, what I am kind of an expert on, though, is witchcraft and New Age spirituality. So that's kind of why I brought that up in the beginning of this video. I'm sorry this is all over the place right now, but I have severe ADHD, and it is on one today. That's my kind of like credential for covering this. We're going to listen to a bit of what Robert has to say, and then we are going to compare it with some principles out of one of my witchcraft textbooks, because that's what it is, witchcraft, which I don't have a problem with. I do have a problem with Young Living. I do have a problem with MLM. I am skeptical about the metaphysical properties of essential oils. However, I do not have a problem with witchcraft. Just putting that out there. Okay. So Robert, I know I'm so small. I'm so small, but this doesn't really work either. I'm so little. Okay. So let's hear about, I missed the beginning. I do not have a recording of the beginning of this when he introduces himself, but we're jumping into where he is talking about how much pain he was in before he changed the way that he thinks about self-healing through essential oils, I guess.
I'll start with this. So I injured my shoulder about 30 years ago, and it got more and more and more intense to the point that I sold my log bed, and I have a recliner, and I started sleeping in a recliner, and and it was more and more pain. So I would go through Deep Relief all night long, Ortho Ease, Cool Azul, and Aroma Seas and I finally, as I'm talking to people and everyone, I realized, dude, you are using Deep Relief to relieve or get rid of the pain or lessen the pain instead of restore shoulder, left side, feminine, mom, blessings, instead of restoring my lineage's blessings. So I'm asking you to get this. The book is all about it. I mean, I wrote the freaking book, right? Other than the oils portion and all that. And yet now I'm applying it myself. So my pain is getting more and more and more and more. I mean, I'm 7, 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's about it. And I had my shoulder injury and range of motion, but it was pretty much whatever. It's just no big deal. It came on and on. All right. So once I went, oh, I am using deep relief, as I'll just talk about that one, all night long to relieve pain. And I went, my shoulder, burdens and blessings, arm as well, and what I'm doing. So here, why I just get this because I'm choosing to have you apply it in your life, your way. So, and again, if everybody, when you come on, make sure you're muted so that I can keep talking. Thank you very much. Are you watching? Can you do that, Cynthia, or no? No. How about now? Just kidding. All right. So just kidding. All right. So once I went, I'm using, now remember, this is pain, this is an injury, and there's all kinds of reason why it's important to relieve the pain. Listen, I'm going to start with this. I was going to complete somewhere down the line with it. I'm going to start with it. So once I went, oh, I remember I was talking to Vaughn. I was going, oh, I'm restoring my blessings on my mom's side. My mom, triple Taurus, something like a 186 out of the blue IQ, drank a 5.5 of whiskey every day.
That's healthy. Okay. Let me go back to me. Okay, I gotta stop it right there for just a second because he does not explain to these people. I don't know if maybe this is like the second video in a series or something that he's done, or if there was a prerequisite that they had to have read his other book before joining this webinar. I really don't know. But I was confused by what he was saying about how his left shoulder was somehow connected to his mom, who's a triple Taurus and has a IQ of 186, which I'm pretty sure is not true. Anyway, I was like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with your mom? And you might have noticed that a little bit earlier, he said, with it being on my left side, it's connected with my feminine energy, right? So I assume that that's something that he's probably explained to these people before this call at some point or in this book that he made them read beforehand. But I want to read you something from a book called The Inner Temple of Witchcraft, Magic, Meditation, and Psychic Development by Christopher Penczak, who is a very well-known, respected in most pagan circles, I think. I know of him. I've studied his work. But I want to read you something real quick that he writes about, this is in his chapter on healing and chakras. So he says, as each chakra expresses imbalance through a range of physical and spiritual issues, so too do the sides of the body give clues. Illness on the left side often deals with the arena of home, family, and emotional life. The left is considered more receptive, feminine, and intuitive. Illness or injury on the right side usually falls under the domain of work, activity, and public life. The right is considered more active and masculine. So regardless of the background that this man, Robert Tennyson Stevens, regardless of the background that he gave these people on what he's talking about, this is a pagan concept. This is like rooted in Hinduism, Eastern religions, and is very much a new age way of looking at things. I don't know if I'm using the terminology that's going to speak to all of you. I am just trying to describe this in the best way that I can while referencing Christopher Penczak's work here. But yeah, so Christopher Penczak says illness on the left side often deals with the arena of home, family, and emotional life. The left is considered more receptive, feminine, and intuitive. So I think we'll go back to him real quick here, just to give you a background.
Swedish Norwegian, never got tired, and was an attack dog. Got it? And I protected my sister from her. All right. So now I didn't grow up with a lot of loving support with my mom. How many get that? I injure my shoulder. Everybody got that? Pretty much okay range of motion. Doesn't bug me much until the last year and a half. And I'm now going, gosh, I better buy as much deep relief, etc., as I can. And of course, then sometimes you can't get it. So, and then also I went, now listen to this. I went, oh, now again, this is a year and a half's worth of consistently using the oil to relieve pain. And then I went, oh, all right. I use the oil to raise me into restoring my blessings, shoulder, burdens, blessings. And immediately I got relief. And like the word belief means to be alive in. Relief means to relive or bring new life. Now, wait a minute. If you don't get this, my mindset was allopathic. Most people in the healing arts today, their mindset is allopathic. This herb for this problem, this oil for this challenge. And, you know, the compliant piece comes along and says, you can't do that. Well, I'm glad we can't do that. Oils, nutrients, God-given, whatever they are not antiviral. They're not antifungal. They're not anti-tumoral. They're pro something. So can you just change your mindset? The benefits are still there, but our mindset was to diminish, get rid of antiviral, antifungal. How many get that? So again, all I did was every time I put the oil on, I would say, I'm restoring my blessings. And I would smell the oil. I'm going to do something about smelling oil, which may change the way you do smelling oil. We're going to get to that tonight. But so for right now, immediately I got from a locked up shoulder to ease and ease and ease and ease, range of motion. I didn't do anything different other than let the oil, which olfactory, there's no filter for olfactory. It goes right straight through. So my doubt, my fear, my judgment, condemnation, my genetic patterns, all the other stuff are transcended with essential oils. And I'm going to share how I learned that through my mentor, Marian Jager, back in 1970 something, 76. So what I'm sharing with you is, oh, tonight, we're going to change the way we use oils. How many like the idea of partnering with the oils? How many like the idea of adding decrees, which are carrier occurrence with the oils? Ooh, and then many of us are going to oils we've never even opened before, going, hello, what are you doing? And the book, that's what Marcella Von Harding went through all of her experience with Gary, 20 some years, whatever it was. I mean, I don't know how to put this. I was going to say I didn't have a clue. I did have a clue. I'm not sure where that just popped up, but I'll put you down there. All right. So, I mean, literally somehow Vaughn was, in her experience with Gary and her own experiences, was able to translate to us exactly why he made that particular oil or blend. And we put it in, instead of, oh, it's anti something or whatever, gets rid of something. We said, what are the thought, word, emotional patterns involved? And then then I do this all day long. I didn't have to look anything up. And then what are the decrees that bring new life, that direct the energy? Scripture, not religion, says, let the weak man say, I am strong. We follow that. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. So my shoulder, I'll take that. My shoulder is, I am here to restore my lineage's blessings and my creative feminine blessings. How many get that? You all have your version. This is just in one area. I might have touched that before. I might have been aware of it before, but the pain got more and more and more and more. Why was the pain getting more? Because it was going to change something. You get to let enthusiasm in. How many get that? Pain is the capstone to memory. Pain is the capstone to enthusiasm. It goes downscale. It goes enthusiasm, pain, anger, fear, grief, apathy, unconsciousness, 7 octaves. So now I had gone through enough, and finally I was going from unconsciousness, apathy, grief, fear, anger, pain. Ow, ow, oh, wait. Oh, I love my pain. I love, I touch, I breathe, I stay, I feel. And then when I finally just simply said, oh, I'm using the frequency of the oils to carry me with my decrees, and I restore my blessings. Immediately, my shoulder became comfortable. A 1 or 0, no pain, comfort from a year and a half of having to use it to get rid of the pain. Are y'all with me on this? How many of you are relating to, oh man, like, oh. So this is 100% doable. And I'm going to show you even more, because what we're going to wake up is profound.
That's a health claim. He says that he was able to take his shoulder pain from a 9 or 10, 8, 9, or 10 to a 0 to 1, and that it's totally doable, which is totally a health claim. He says that it is completely doable just with essential oils and decrees. He says the frequency of the oil and the decree, which translates in my head to the intention with which he's using the oil, right? So I'm going to read a little bit more from Inner Temple. This camera is backwards, so blah, sorry. Inner Temple of Witchcraft by Christopher Penczak. I do not 100% subscribe to everything that Christopher Penczak teaches. The reason I am using this book in this video and referencing it is simply to prove the point that everything that Robert Tennyson Stevens is teaching to these Young Living reps and teaches in the book that Young Living sent out to their diamond leaders is not Christian. Young Living is, from my understanding, a very Christian centric company, and I understand that after receiving this book by him in the mail, many of the very like Jesus-y, Bible thumping leaders in Young Living have either quit or come out publicly against it, and are demanding some kind of action from Mary Young on it. Now, Christopher Penczak says, because witches look at the world as a holistic system, we view healing holistically. Although taking care of painful symptoms is helpful, one must look for the reason behind the symptom. Illness can be thought of as a form of magic we practice on ourselves. Magic is manifestation, and we unconsciously manifest a disease to understand the message our body is telling us. We can use the same tools, intent, and will to restore healthy balance. To do so, we look at the root of the imbalance, not the outward result. Like a weed, once the root is removed, the weed will not grow back. This is exactly what Robert Tennyson Stevens is teaching these people in Young Living. If I keep getting this guy's name wrong, I am sorry. But like I said, I'm on a time crunch and I may not be editing this video. So this I found very interesting. It is, in so many words, basically what this guy is teaching these people in Young Living, straight out of this book on witchcraft. When you break disease, the word, down into basic components, you have dis and ease. Dis is a prefix that denotes a negative, opposite, or absence of, as in the word disrespect. Ease is exactly what it means. Ease, comfort, relaxation. Dis-ease is the lack of comfort. This is not our traditional definition of disease. Most people use the word to mean something impairing health. By looking at the root of the word, we discover its secret. Impairing health is a lack of ease. Like I said, I do not subscribe wholly to any of this because I am a huge believer in allopathic medicine and science, and I believe that it is extremely ableist and many other ists to say that disease is something that is created by the thoughts that we think and our mental and emotional imbalances, which is essentially what all of this is saying and what this guy is saying. However, like I said, I'm not saying that this is what I believe. I am just comparing the two belief systems. Now, as far as what he says about the frequency of the energy, just to give a little bit of background on why it matters, what frequency these oils have. This comes back to one's spiritual vibration. So in the principle of vibration in witchcraft, the principle of vibration states nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Everything is always moving, vibrating all the time. Even when something looks like it is staying still, it is not. The Hermetic philosophers knew this thousands of years ago, but science has only recently caught up. Prior to the discovery of atoms, physical matter appeared to be stationary and unmoving. Except for living beings with cellular movement, inanimate matter looked to be still. Once the atom was discovered, we understood solid matter to be tiny packets of empty space, where small particles constantly rotate around a center particle. These tiny particles, electrons, are always moving, always rotating, and always vibrating. Even when something was perfectly still, these little particles were moving. How did the philosophers know this without knowing about the atom? The power of the principle of vibration comes from not only understanding that physical matter is always vibrating, but that everything is vibrating, even the non-physical. In fact, the differences between matter, energy, and spirit are simply different vibrations. So I'm going to skip a little bit. We also contain energy and spiritual vibrations. Understanding how they work and how to control them is a very important part of witchcraft. So, by knowing this, you can consciously put out good vibes to change the energy of a situation. Your thoughts, emotions, and intentions all carry a vibration, a frequency. And by consciously changing that vibration, you can have a profound effect on your reality. This is what the author is telling these people to do by using the essential oils. So each one is supposed to be vibrating at a certain frequency. So what he's saying is that you would use the essential oil that is vibrating at the frequency of easing the burden on his mother's side to heal his shoulder. I don't know. It all sounds like bullshit, but it all sounds like the same bullshit, which is the point here. The realm of vibrational healing using intent, energy, and the vibrations of natural substance, such as flower essences, crystals, oils, is fast becoming part of alternative medicine. I just want you to understand that while it is becoming part of modern alternative medicine, its roots are Hermetic. Pagan. Its roots are pagan. All right, so another thing that he is talking about, and I don't know, he may go more into this a little bit later. I really don't know how much of this I am going to actually show in my video. But what he is focusing on a lot with his story of completely curing his shoulder pain that he had been suffering from for 2 years, just by changing the way that he thinks about the oils that he is using to cure himself. He emphasizes that the reason that it wasn't working for him before was because he was essentially asking God to take away his pain. He was speaking in the negative. This is a really common concept in mystical traditions, paganism, law of attraction, the secret kind of thing, where essentially the universe does not hear the negative. So one example, I was studying under a high priestess of a Wiccan coven several years ago. And one of the lessons that I remember from that time was I was so worried that I was going to
get pregnant.
So at this time, like, my worst fear was getting pregnant. So what she told me was that by thinking, oh God, I hope I'm not pregnant. I hope I'm not pregnant. Don't get pregnant. Don't get me pregnant. Blah, 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 blah. Like that all the time. The universe was not hearing the negative parts of that sentence. The universe was hearing pregnant, pregnant, pregnant.
Pregnant.
So that's what, according to her, I was drawing toward myself. So instead, she encouraged me to, when I prayed or, spoke to the divine, to not speak with negatives like not or don't let me be pregnant, because all they would hear is let me be pregnant. Instead, to think of asking to continue things the way they are. Not pregnant now, don't have any babies now. Well, I do now, but then essentially just flipping it around and making it a positive statement, instead of pulling that pregnancy energy into my life. So Christopher Penczak kind of explains it a little better here. This is him talking about affirmations. And I think it really speaks to what Robert Tennyson Stevens just said to us about how he had to stop saying, take away my pain, and ask for something positive instead. So one of the affirmations for healing that Penzack prescribes is, I am completely healthy on all levels. This is also something that, not word for word, but almost word for word, is in the book that was sent out to the Young Living representatives. Penzack says, many of these affirmations are in the form of I am statements. This was also really big in Beachbody. We had a lot of that going on. Probably why I joined, honestly. The phrase I am is very powerful because it connects the affirmation to the highest quality of your being, your higher or divine self. That is also something that appears in the book that was sent out to the Young Living representatives. He talks about finding your God self, finding your divine self. That is something that pissed off a lot of Christians so far from what I've seen on social media. The phrase goes back to an Old Testament phrase when the divine, taking the form of a burning bush, says, I am that I am. You don't have to be Christian or Jewish to use the power of these two simple words. In the Kundalini yoga tradition, a popular mantra is, healthy am I, happy am I, holy am I. In the Silva mind control method, whatever that is, they use every day in every way, I am getting better and better and better. The I am statements are also in the form of what you want to create rather than what you don't want. An affirmation of health is I am healthy rather than I am not sick. In the latter, you are focusing on the word sick and maybe creating more sickness, even if that is not the intent of the statement. Sounds a lot like what this guy had to say.
All right,
Let's
so,
skip a bit.
oh, I love you got the post of the oils. That's so good. Good. All right, cool. So, as I take you through this tonight, I'm going to build a context so you can understand it. Those that have the book, it's in the book. I'm going to share a little bit about the book.
All of this is in the book.
And then what I'm going to...
that I can't buy because I don't have $79. If anyone wants to donate this book to me, I mean, don't give this guy any money. But
do, my word made flesh. And then what I'm going to do is bring us to the point of how to begin to shift the way we use oils. And already, how many of you are going, oh, I'm going to use my oils or oil-infused supplements to restore something? How many like that's so different than to diminish or get rid of? How many like the idea of using something to lubricate? Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and do this thing.
I like that. All right. So now we get to watch him try to learn technology and how to use a computer. And leave his mouse up on the screen the whole time. his cursor, which I'm doing as well. So my apologies.
That might be
Oh, I got
Did
his
you mute
name right.
yourself?
What, honey?
Did you mute yourself or are you just quiet?
I'm just quiet.
Okay.
I was doing a short bit of technology, and I tend to be unifocused versus a multitasker. So I do one thing at a time, and I get very, it's so funny. It's like, I'm okay. It's all right.
And I reclaim my sound.
Oh, good. Cool. All right. So My Word Made Flesh. This is our book. There we go. It's too big. That's what I thought. All right. So I'll just take you through. Let's see. I'm going to go to page 7 steps. I'll just show you some of this stuff. So that's on page 11. So I'll go here faster this way.
Come on, dude. I wish.
So,
I
and this is the whole book is based on this concept, but we're going to deepen it tonight, way beyond anything I've given in the book. So engage your upgrade and touch it with love. Step number 1 is essential. I take everybody back, myself included, to take the charge off, to touch whatever's there and love it just the way it is. My shoulder, I was doing everything I could to love my pain the way it was, but I didn't reverse the curse, so to speak. Step number 2, put it into words, and that's what sacred body language. The minute I went, oh, I'm restoring my blessings, wham. I would use the oil to restore my blessings instead of get rid of pain. Amazing. Step 3, get specific with specificity factors. That's part of the book. You'll get that. And then step 4, reverse the curse or upgrade using conscious language decrees. Again, I restore my lineage's blessings, on and on and on. And then step 5, shift into already having. Now that I have, this is such a big deal for me. I mean, it's so outside my box. I have to be made new to let myself even be aware of what does it mean? What does it mean for me to have my mother's lineage's blessings active in my life and my family's life? You get, I mean, it's outside. Of course, it has to be outside of our box. We are made new. The old self dies, the new self is born. It's like, anyway, and by the way, of course, I wrote the book for me. And then once the book was written, I happened to go reading it, then going, I mean, if you can imagine a year and a half of intense pain, especially at night, to ease by simply saying, oh, what does this turn into? Please really get this for you. Yes, everybody. It's so much better than to go against. No, go forward. It's restoring something. So this is the decrees. The book is full of them. And then step 5, shift into already having. Now that I have restored my mother's lineage, now that I am divine mother loved, on and on. Step 6, change your frequency with conscious nutrition and the faith builders. And this is where we use Young Living essential oils. And why do I use them? Because they get right past any thought, word, emotional pattern, any resistance. And I'll share with you how I learned that through my mentor. And then outcome map. What's your life like now that you've got whatever it is? So that's that. And then I'm going to take you to page 15. That's going to work. All right. So I'll go this way. So Scripture says this. I'll just keep it simple. I use Scripture not as religion. I use it as a quantum physics book. Decree a thing and it shall be established unto you. That's where the decrees are so important. A man who offendeth, this is really all about the C19 stuff, the Rona, the rice of Rona is what I call it. It's important. A person, a man or woman who offendeth not in word, the same is a perfect person and able to bridle the whole body. How many love that? I can, I am, I will, I choose, I have, I love, I create, I enjoy, I bless. God is the only presence and power acting here. I vote your victory. I am your permanent. All these statements, Scripture says, pray without ceasing. It's a good idea. It's interesting. The word Christ means anointed. So when we're using oils, we're anointing, we're activating our white fire being self, what I call Christ. You call it yours. I'm going to call it what I call it. And then as we think in our hearts, so are we. So our inner conversation, known or not known, what we feel inside is our world. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. So words are really important for all creation, all manifestation. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. The Word becomes flesh. My Word made flesh, the purpose of the book, the name of the book.
Okay, so what he's doing here, let me come back on screen. I'm running out of time. I'm probably going to have to continue recording this a little bit later. But I just want to point out that what he's doing here is explaining literally everything I just went over that is based in Hermeticism and Celtic tradition and just like ancient pagan shit that has become popular again with New Age, Wiccan, spiritualism, blah, 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 blah. All that shit that I am guilty of. But like I said, I'm a skeptic. He's just taking all of that and painting it with a Christian brush to make it palatable to Young Living representatives so that he can sell each and every one of them an $80 book. Also, I think this guy is actually like at the top of the pyramid in Young Living, if I'm not mistaken. I will find out and I will correct myself in this video if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, I mean, he's making a shit ton of money selling this bullshit. And all it is a training. Like, it's not even a new blend. It's not a new oil or anything. It's essentially just ancient spiritual knowledge and tradition from Eastern and holistic medicine that he is just painting with a Christian brush to make it palatable to these people. So, I mean, that's what's happening here. I got to go pick up my son. I will continue recording if he lets me. And if he doesn't, then I'll have to do it a little bit later. I mean, you won't know the difference, except that it won't be light out anymore. So, BRB.
A few moments later.
All right. Sorry about that. That was probably only like a split second for you guys, but it was an hour for me. I just picked up the kiddo and went to Quick Trip, came home, set him up with some snacks, and now we're watching Mickey Mouse. So if you hear that in the background, sorry, not sorry. So I want to pick up a little bit later in this guy's Zoom call than where we left off. There was just something that was just sounded very familiar. You got the letter P. Good job. Yes, sir.
And health practices that are effective incorporate, in varying degrees, a shift in the cause of the challenge. How many like working with causation versus just the symptom? Awesome, awesome. Anything less than our highest choice contains self-sabotage. Every one of you, I apologize. You will have to thrive. You'll have to have your highest choice. How many have been picking something a little bit lower and easier and find out it's not working? Do you realize that your creator is here to furnish our world? So go for the gold. Yes. All right. And then.
Okay, listen. Whether you subscribe to what he just said as a Christian or a pagan is none of my business. Whether I do is none of yours. However, what is everyone's business, in my opinion, who am I, Aaron Bees? Love you, girl. He is almost quoting this book about witchcraft and then just throwing the word Christ in there once in a while. I think it's really interesting. Like, I will criticize Young Living all day long for being an MLM, but it's very nice that they are open-minded enough to incorporate some Eastern and pagan practices here. Okay, so what I want to tell you, I don't know how to share this, I apologize, but so what he was just quoting was this third little section, this part here, the third one down, the kind of darkish orange one. And what it says is, anything less than our highest choice contains self-sabotage. If we pick something for ourselves, food, lifestyle, nutrition, friends, etc., that is less than our highest choice, we are signaling to the universe that we are not our full value. My Word Made Flesh, which is the name of his book, invites you to discover and voice your highest choice, revalue yourself, and upgrade yourself to the real you, your divine self. Choosing your highest choice is essential for real self-success. So that said, that's what he just said. Here is an exact quote from Christopher Penczak here from the Inner Temple of Witchcraft. And this is regarding meditation. All right. So he quotes an intention, he quotes an intention that you may say to set your space for meditation. You may say something like, I ask the goddess and God to protect and guide me in this meditation. Then he says, such statements are programming yourself and your space with the experience you wish to have. Intentions of protection, guidance, healing, or experiences for the highest good are best. Clarifying for your highest good requests that the experience be guided by your divine higher self rather than your ego. That's what he just said. Clarifying for your highest good requests that the experience be guided by your divine higher self rather than your ego. Like I said, whether you believe that or not, can you deny that it's the same thing? Oh God, now I'm singing Mickey Mouse. I'm sorry. Probably going to wrap this up soon.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
M-O-U-S-E. It's your apples. Yeah, can mommy have a blueberry? Wow. Thank you. Say hi.
Hi.
We are watching a very silly man talk to a bunch of very silly ladies. Okay, sorry. I can't get comfortable. This is a theme for me. Yeah, we're sitting and working. That's what we're doing. Okay. Let's see what else he has to say.
Bring more, being more right does not increase love. How many got that figured out? How many been right and had less love and harmony and family and all the other stuff? So that's that. If you're going to shift into something. Scripture is about states of consciousness. I'm not using it in the religious model at all. And so my Word Made Flesh contains a systematic step-by-step upgrade path. And again, I wrote all this before I figured out what I was doing with deep relief, etc. I got it. I mean, I literally went, you're using this allopathically. What? I'm having a conversation with myself. It was a little schizo something. What can I say? But I was like, you're using this allopathically. What? Use it? And it was like, oh. Well, I mean, that's outside my box. I didn't have any blessings and love and harmony with my mom. Well, that's the opposite of who you are, bud. Okay. Do you get? I had to walk by faith, not by seeing it before. So anyway, this is a step-by-step upgrade path and can be successfully applied to quicken the transformation, literally meaning a real transformation of all states of manifestation, physical, emotional, financial, spiritual, and mental into what we choose. But we got to hook up our chooser. How many like hooking up your chooser right now? Choose ye this day. And what does the word choose mean? It means to ooze our chi in a particular direction. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right.
Okay. I'm gonna cut him off. I'm gonna pause him on this page and go through some of the things that Marion taught me in 1976. Marion refers to this guy's mentor 50 odd years ago. All right. So oils provide a dramatic increase in the electrical potential of our, I have to get really close to the screen to read this because I don't have a physical copy. The electrical potential in our human body. Negative thoughts stored in the body surrender more readily when a higher vibration is present. We talked about this. Just as darkness surrenders to light. The ease of light to eliminate darkness is a simple example of the power of grace. Inserting that Christian verbiage there. Pure plant essential oils, which contain various frequencies of sunlight, have the ability to transform limited experiences and beliefs stored in our bodies. Okay, so to me, this kind of all sounds like word salad. Oh my God, my microphone has been turned around backwards this whole time. I am so sorry. I hope that that doesn't totally screw up the video. Crap. Whoopsies. Okay. So I am just going to address some of these points one by one, and just kind of highlight how it parallels this book about the principles of witchcraft. Number one, essential oil is the essence of the marriage of the earth and the sun through photosynthesis. You want more cookies? Just 1 second. In witchcraft, many mystical symbols are ascribed to the masculine or feminine. Traditionally, the moon is associated with the goddess. The moon moves through phases as the triple goddess, moving from the maiden to the mother to the crone, as the moon moves from new to full to dark. The sun is considered part of the god. And as a light and a life giver, his rays help Mother Earth bloom with light. Life. Just wanted to point out that there's a big parallel there with whatever it is Christopher Penczak and Robert are peddling respectively. All right, so this guy talks about the chakras a lot in here. Obviously, that is... Those are not, that's not a Christian-based concept. I did grow up Christian, Catholic specifically. Catholic is like pagan light, but technically Christian. I know. What are you doing? This is Otto, everyone. Otto, how do you spell your name? Yes, sir. All right. Oils polarize or reverse the vortex of thought forms and physical conditions from negative to positive polarity. Like a negative whirlwind or whirlpool, they flip into our life, giving spin when we add our decrees and imagination of our new choices. So the decrees are like the affirmations in Chris's book, and the imagination of our new choices is the visualization component, which is present in anything magical with a K. So on that topic, I had it here. I couldn't find my little sticky thingies to like mark my pages. Dang it. Okay, let's talk about this chakras real quick. I kind of just passed over that, but I decided I don't want to because I came across this. All right, so number 8 and number 9 on this first page of chapter 15 here. Chakras are transformers like electricity. Weird sentence structure. Chakras, the gate of feelings, are the only port of entry or exit of our thought forms. Remember, he says this to the Young Living reps, right? Yes, mommy's reading. All right, so according to Chris Penczak, chakra is Sanskrit for spinning wheel, referring to the spinning wheels of light within the energy body, like electricity transformers. As your physical body has physical organs, your spiritual bodies have the same, or have spiritual or organic energetic organs, points of light that process energy in much the same way physical organs process food, water, and oxygen. Each chakra contains one of the main colors of the spectrum, starting at the bottom of the spine and ascending. They are connected through a central core channel, like a tube, through which energy flows, as well as spiraling kundalini channels. Each chakra is associated with a different function of consciousness, as well as particular body systems, glands, subtle bodies, and gemstones. Consecrating and carrying the associated gemstones or laying them on the chakra will help alleviate any imbalances or issues you have with each. And this is exactly what this guy is teaching, except with oils instead of gemstones. Daddy's home. All right, we're going to have to pause again for just a bit. Actually, it'll only be a second for you guys because I'm stopping recording and I will be back shortly. Okay, again, I'm skipping forward just a teeny bit. I'm just going to play a real quick clip. All right, see what he does here.
Our newly qualified life. Oils are volatile. They work in all the body. Jesus taught the oils to the disciples, not the masses. I'm going to go more. I'm going to go to number 22 because it's the big one for me.
Okay, that's what I wanted to point out. He is intentionally skipping number 22 because it says, or skipping number 21 to 22. Because number 21 says, the influence of odors upon the finer bodies has been a guarded temple secret down through the ages. The temple of what, my dude? The temple of the Golden Dawn? This is Hermetic mysticism that you are teaching. So I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out right quick.
So, again, essential oils are anesthetizers to the intellect where doubt can live, which can be a barrier to belief. The function of oil is to raise the frequency or vibratory rate of slow, dead, heavy, negative thought forms into our new choices that completely, this is what's important, not managing pain, that completely replace the old pattern with our all new pattern. This is the purpose of this book. Oils synchronize the rate of vibration with health and positivity, transforming negative thought forms into our new conscious highest choice. And that's what I'm going to show there. All right, so now I'm back.
Just, remember what I said about that. He basically just quoted Christopher Penczak there again.
I am love in action. I am sovereign in my I am that I am. Now remember, and those that play around with Sacred Mountain, it is all these things. And
all right, here's another thing that these Young Living, like Bible thumper hands that are speaking out and or leaving Young Living over this book coming out are upset about is things like this sacred angel, the decree that goes along with it. So it's meant for a renewed sense of strength and protection, to create a feeling of your own spiritual wholeness, neutralizes negative energy, and gives a feeling of security. And the decrees that go along with it, or the affirmations that you are supposed to speak, I guess, when using this oil, is, I am sovereign in my divine energy. I am safe and secure and protected at all times by grace. I ignite purity wherever I go. I am sovereign in my divine energy is one of the most pagan things I have ever heard.
okay, yep.
I just smelled Sacred Mountain for the first time because I had the sea and I couldn't smell much, not even peppermint. And now when we did this exercise, I could smell the Sacred Mountain again. I was just smelling it. I didn't know what it, well, I remember what it smelled, but I couldn't smell. Now I can. So thank you.
Health claim.
Again, kids, look, the wintergreen, for those that have the challenge and whatever. Wintergreen, fear. I mean, if you read in the book, a virus is not alive. We got that. A virus is an encoded RNA DNA connection to our body if we are at that point. So a man or woman who offendeth not in word, which programs DNA. A man or woman who offendeth not in word, the same as a perfect person and able to bridle the whole body. So how many love? Stay with the decrees all day long. It is whatever it is. This is a beginning, and everything else. It's for me. It's as if my creator is saying to me, the speed of my decrees being a fact in my world are exactly what the plant kingdom are delivering. And by breathing, smelling the oils now in a brand new way, I literally have expanded, I'm going to say my consciousness, my awareness, my agreement, whatever, by the smell, the fragrance in a whole new way in my, I'm going to say that my body, my temple, whatever. So to me, this is a gift. The whole book thing, My Word Made Flesh, has been a gift to me in such a big way. And now I'm going, oh, no, it's God already delivered the good scripture. Before you have asked, I have answered. Wow. Before you have asked, I have answered. That to me is so profound. Today, just a little while ago, I was just going, and then, oh, and then, oh, and many of you record your sounds, go, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I didn't even realize this. I think this entire Zoom is an opportunity call. I feel silly. All right, I feel silly for not having realized that, but here comes the pitch.
No. Wednesday night at 8 p.m. We have a three series class coming up. It's Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Monday night. So December 8th, December 9th, and December 13th. They're at 8 p.m. Eastern, all of them. You can choose one class at $44, or you can choose all three at $111. It's a really easy investment, and you'll get recordings. Even if you choose all three and you miss one, you'll get recordings of all three of them. So the first one is Sacred Body Language Translations. It's an introduction into it. So this is for people that are really exploring where they choose to go from here. The second class is Biooptic Holography, which is a reading of our eyes. And then the third class is called Life Upgrade Coaching, where we take everything we've learned from Sacred Body Language plus what we've learned from Biooptic Holography and combine it together for Life Upgrade Coaching. They're three fabulous classes. They go together beautifully. I suggest all three, and you can email me at.
Don't forget the book, which is $79.
Yes. Every time, yes. Let's really vote victory. Yes, I am our country's, all of ours, permanent victory in the light. I am my permanent victory in the light. I'm your permanent victory in the light. I reclaim my will. That's funny. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all. I vote your victory. Merry Christmas if you do that one. Happy holidays if you do that one. Glorious highest choices. You do that one. You get to do that one. That's all there's to it. So awesome. Thank you all. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Okay. I may have more on this. I find this fascinating. I have more books. I have more notes from classes that I've taken that align so much with what this guy is teaching. And like I said, I am not attacking anything that he's teaching. I'm also not subscribed to it personally. I just wanted to kind of highlight the parallels between what this man is teaching in this Christian MLM and what I learned in my witchcraft class. So thank you for watching. Otto says thank you for watching. And you guys have a good evening, morning, night, noon, weekend, whatever. And please remember to like this video if you liked this video.